The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Moore. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips, and Kyle Yeomans.
It is a Thursday edition of Talking Cowboys presented by Tostitos, the official chip and the official dip of the Dallas Cowboys. You got it.
I freaking got it, guys.
Good job, Isaiah.
Thanks, dude.
Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips. We've got Chris Beam in the back. Gentlemen, it is a Thursday. We're getting closer to Week 6 and the matchup with the Patriots on the line. And while we're previewing the Cowboys' offense versus that stout Patriots defense, this is going to be fun because this defense is nasty. They are nasty. How we doing?
I'm swell.
How we doing?
Peachy.
How you doing? I see you, little daddy. I'm
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm
Okay.
swell. I'm swell.
What was the word that you've been using?
Swell.
Has it been swell? So y'all both use swell, and then Heckma uses peachy?
We're swelly swell.
Swell.
Okay.
I think Heckman actually might have said peaches the other day.
Peaches?
Yeah, peaches, peachy.
Do you like peaches?
Love peaches. My favorite color is peach.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Not a lot.
I want to see you just strut
seen
up
you
in
in
the
peach.
studio in a peachy shirt.
Are you going to be a peach for Halloween?
I'm sure you've got one if it's your favorite color.
I don't. I bought my wife a bunch of peach stuff, so that's how that works.
Okay.
Heck's like, can we talk about the Patriots now?
No, it really is. I mean, it's all good. I mean, I was thinking, like, if I walked up in here in a whole peach suit, it's
Oh, man.
Whoa!
First of all, our ratings would probably go up. You know, the numbers would crush it. Like this guy in the peach suit.
Well, they'd be scrolling on Twitter, and they would see just, like, sticking out. They would see the peach color pop instead of just, like, navy and white.
Nah, that's back in the day.
All right, guys, we're on to New England. Let's
maybe
go.
maybe that should be the bet this year instead of a Christmas tree.
No.
I like that one.
That is a
No.
great
Dumb and Dumber
idea.
suit with a top hat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lloyd
peach
Christmas
one.
style.
Oh, yeah.
We stand with the Christmas trees.
Okay.
Oh, we're doing another
And there's a
Christmas tree?
shortage. There's a global shortage
Really?
on Christmas trees this year. So
crazy.
Is there
that
really?
Christmas tree gonna be expensive.
I have resources.
Okay.
He's got a guy.
I got a guy for most things.
Figure it
Okay.
all out.
Or a gal.
Exactly.
No, and also this will make you happy. There's a pumpkin shortage, so there won't be a lot of pumpkin patch pictures this year.
I just took the kiddo to the pumpkin. There ain't no shortage of
Ain't no,
pumpkins.
that's what they said. I saw that was Good Morning America.
I already did it.
Everywhere. I was trying to get her to take one home. She's throwing them all over the place.
Hey, that's our annual picture. Chris is going to do it. He does an annual pumpkin patch picture.
Nice.
Always good to see those annual
Hey,
pictures
we're
with
gonna
the
go in a couple
beans.
weeks. The Harrison family want
No. Don't no.
Are you sure?
No,
Oh, you
that's
should
not where we
extend the
going with that.
invite.
That's not where we going with
I'm
that.
gonna talk to your wife.
Nah.
I'm
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
it's done.
I don't want to be a part of
petting zoo
that.
and everything there.
What's wrong
man.
with
You
it?
Love it.
I hate it.
It's in the country.
It's not a part of something I look forward to
It's
every
just
year.
too cliche. Fall. Let's go to the pumpkin patch.
I wasn't raised in the pumpkin patch environment. So, it's a new thing, and so when I'm exposed to it, I think you do it one time. I didn't know this was an annual, pumpkin patch hayride, petting zoo.
Can we do a haunted house?
Yes.
Let's go.
I think we talked about this before.
we did.
Heckman's out.
Yeah,
He already
Heck
said
does
that.
not
He's
wanna do
done.
that.
Yeah, I'm kind of out.
Yeah,
I'm
those
not
two
doing
guys.
Y'all go.
That's okay. All right, let's get into news and notes before we lose most of our
We're
viewership.
brothers.
I'll go with
Still
you,
are,
Isaiah.
but I mean,
I'll go with you. I don't even like haunted houses, but I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
News and notes from
Invite the
yesterday.
fans.
Cowboys back on practice. Yeah, we could invite the fans.
They were inside yesterday. Looks like they might be outside today. Looks like the rain's trying to clear up a little bit. Very, very Seattle-ish out there, Isaiah.
Make you miss home.
About 30 degrees warmer, though.
Yeah, truth. Injury-wise, let's see. Trayvon Diggs did not practice yesterday. He was doing some cord work with Britt Brown during the open portion. I think they're just trying to manage that for Sunday. Zeke was limited. Said that those ribs are still bothering him after running into the pylon. He was actually checking the pylon at Ford Center to kind of see, is that one as heavy as the one that fell on me?
No.
Let's see, who else? DeMonte Kazee did not practice either. He was dressed out, and he looked like he was in some discomfort early. with a hip issue and wound up not practicing. So I don't think that's a major concern for Sunday. We'll see. Randy Gregory also had limited work again this week. And then, they started the practice window on 2 players, Sean McCune and 1 Kelvin Joseph. So they can be activated at any point in the next 21 days.
Uh-oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Tough decisions on the line.
Uh-oh.
So within the next 21 days, or is that like the max they can be activated, or do they have to wait 21 days?
No, anytime. Once 21 days are up, if they don't do it, then they would revert to IR for the rest of the year.
Ooh.
So, but usually this means both guys are close.
Yeah.
And Mike McCarthy has said probably nobody coming off IR this week, but it sounds promising, I would assume, for Minnesota at the end of the month.
Yeah, usually, or at least with that, I'm thinking Minnesota's got to be the day, right?
Is the bye week included in that 21 days?
I believe so, yes. Yeah.
Even though they probably wouldn't practice a lot that week?
They might have one actual sort of practice. I would imagine a pretty light week.
Are you guys even nervous about the bye week at all as a team? Just knowing that, obviously we're having a lot of success and,
where it's situated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm a little bit. Mike McCarthy talked about it on Monday, and I really liked his answer. He said basically he loves the bye week being early because he looks at Thanksgiving as like a half bye week of like the way that it kind of schedules out with the Thursday to Thursday and how they have that 10 days and that extra layoff. We saw it last year with the Baltimore game. I mean, the Baltimore game was like, 16 days after the one previously? Now, that was delayed a little bit because of a COVID deal. But he likes that bye week being earlier, so that way it breaks the season almost into thirds.
No, I mean, I know it's fast approaching, but, you talk about the 2 guys that are going to come back. I'm looking forward to seeing Boss Man Fat. There's a lot of people, we've been talking about him since he's been drafted. But I think, man, Anthony Brown he's going to keep that spot on the bench right there for Kelvin Joseph. Maybe he'll get involved in special teams, but that's what, for me, McEwen, that's where I believe his add to the team has been is on special teams, but also in that tight end group. He did some really good things also in preseason. Would you say he's a better blocker than the 2 tight ends that we have currently?
I would say that, but I think both guys have gotten better at it. I think Schultz in particular has gotten better at it.
Yeah.
But I think that was his role last year in very limited snaps, to your point. And now Jeremy Sprinkle, I think they're out of elevations for him without the waiver process. So it's a good time for McCune to come back if they have to get creative there.
I also think it would spell the end, at least temporarily, of the Connor McGovern at fullback situation, because that's what a lot of what McCune did last year was working as the up back in a running situation. And instead, we've seen Connor McGovern back there. I know.
Don't say that.
I know.
The McGovern package, I like.
I like it.
Just got on Madden.
It did. It is on Madden.
Is it on Madden now?
We did a whole hit stick segment on it. It was awesome.
You heard what he said about, somebody asked him last Friday, do you want to get a carry out of this package one day? He's like, yeah, that's every little fat kid's dream.
I love it.
It was a good line. I don't know if it's going to happen, though.
No. So is this really a tough decision coming up with guys like Kelvin Joseph coming back, or is this kind of just the beginning of those tough decisions? Are we going to see more? Is it going to get tougher down the road with guys like Gallimore and Osa, kind of how we talked about yesterday, or is this a tough decision with Kelvin Joseph and how he's going to see snaps the way that Anthony Brown's been playing?
I can see like 3 spots as on the roster as I look at it without saying names.
Okay.
I can see 3 spots that I can say easily you can delegate those guys to IR or however else they got to do organizationally to remove them from the active roster and replace them with guys that are coming off of PUP or IR. I see 3 spots that are easy decisions. Now, that doesn't mean that those are D lineman for D lineman or cornerback for cornerback. But I do see some easier moves. Now, beyond those 3, I think it gets a little bit tricky, a little sticky.
When you say 3, is it 3 positions or 3
people?
Okay. So you can't.
Who are those people?
Like back in.
No, he just said he wasn't going to say that.
I know.
But can you give us a position then?
Well, I mean, guys that are coming onto the roster, are you saying? Or you guys got them coming off? Because that's going to tell us everything. Process of elimination. You see what you try to do right there? See what you try to do right there?
No, at least you won't have to say
Heck is going investigative journalism here.
Come on.
Like back in roster guys, like guys toward the end of the 53. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's 3 easy decisions in terms of guys that come off, unfortunately for them. But I see beyond that, though, there's going to be some more difficult conversations.
Yeah, and I mean, if they don't activate anybody this week,
heard that too.
If they don't activate anybody this week, there's another game. And, we still on?
I don't know if we're still on. And everything shorted out, and then
I think we're back.
Picture came back. Wow, that was interesting.
I keep saying it. I mean, it's deadly as catch, man. It's 100% injury rate. Guys get hurt, and hopefully that doesn't happen. But that's sometimes you might have to put somebody on IR, to fill that spot. I feel like aliens are coming or something.
Yeah, this is really weird. I don't know if this is on program or not, but it's basically the entire studio is completely shorting out at the moment. So. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. We're going to keep going like we're on air and like it's not really heard from a fan standpoint or a viewership standpoint, but I don't know what's going on. This is weird.
Let's go.
Really, really.
There's 3 spots.
I don't know what's going on.
Do you guys for guys that we know are going to be contributors immediately?
Well, see, I want names.
I mean, they're not starters 1 through 53. There's guys that are kind of
no. What I'm saying is, we've been talking about this for about 3 months now, Rob, and we've been talking about the names. And so I'm just asking Isaiah. I know there are a few names or positions that, let's just say, a wide receiver. All right, let's just say maybe a rookie secondary guy that may be in deep water there. So I just know there are a few changes that may be made especially once we get Gallimore back, Hill back. Obviously there's going to be a bit of a shuffle.
Oh, it's better.
Is that better?
Yeah. Way better. Everything is good on the viewership end. So
okay, great.
We'll keep going. Whatever's going on in studio is really weird, but we're going to push past it. Let's start talking about this defense for the New England Patriots. They are physical up front. I mean, this is really, really fun to look at as a matchup. I mean, Isaiah, of course, being a Bill Belichick former player, is this kind of what the older talented top end guys, at least from an across the board standpoint? But man,
I just my first 2 years here in Dallas, and great strength program, great all-around organization. Obviously, and being here with the Dallas Cowboys was definitely a blessing. When I went to New England, 2 things I learned immediately was how to prepare. Was how to prepare for a game, like the way in which they do in New England. So mentally, the mental preparation, the testing, the film study, the meetings. He had more walkthroughs than Jason Garrett. Can you believe that? All right, the walkthrough. So you're mentally prepared for the situational awareness. Right, he puts you through every situation, and then on top of that, the physical aspect in terms of the training. I didn't know what it really meant to lift. I thought we had a really good strength program here. When I got out there, you lifted. Like how you expect guys to lift in the offseason, that's how they lift during the season. I'm not sure if it's still that way, but looking at the size of these guys, I would imagine it's pretty similar. Now, we had Harold Nash, who's our head strength coach here now in Dallas. He was the assistant strength coach when I was out there in New England, so I'm sure we're getting some of that here as well. But those guys lift the weights, and these guys are always, because he always wants to be physical. He wants to wear you out throughout the game and throughout the season. He wants to be more physically demanding because he knows what this game turns into as the weather starts changing. Mm-hmm. As the weather starts changing, what do you have to turn? You can't throw the ball around anymore, so what do you have to do? You have to revert down to the trenches. And he wants to be demanding and physical and own that portion of the game. So these guys are going to be very disciplined. These guys are going to be very large in terms of just how they present themselves, their stature, and then they're going to be strong as all get out. Right? And they're going to force you to do things the right way. They're going to be in the right gap. They're going to have their head on the right side. They're going to tackle well. They're not going to make bad decisions. They're not going to hurt themselves penalty-wise. So you have to find ways to approach this game and find where they're weak at, which I believe is because they're so big, because they're so aggressive against the run, there's opportunities at the second level. There's opportunities on the interior side of the defense with Schultz and things of that nature, because these guys are going to be a physical challenge. They're only giving up, I haven't done the exact math yet, but it looks like total yardage probably around 320 yards per game total. We just had, 515?
Yep.
These guys are giving up about 320 total. I'm going to run the math here exactly, but that's what it looks like total offense that they're allowing against their team. This is a stout team.
What do you think, Heckma?
I think we're gonna bust him in the mouth. But here's the other thing. No, here's the other thing, and he's right. I love. This is a part of this job, man, that I absolutely I love it. Just watching Bill Belichick's defense, he has the recipe. He has it each and every year. You go back, we talked about the offense yesterday and talked about how Mac Jones looks like Tom Brady 2.0 when he started as a rookie and the way that they're playing him. The defense has always been the same. He does multiple fronts, hybrid looks. You don't know if it's a 4-3, 3-4. Sometimes he has 5-6 people standing at the line of scrimmage with just one linebacker. So, I mean, it's just one of those things with this team, with the Patriots, that you don't know. You come into a game saying, oh, they're going to play man. They may not. They may go two. They may go zone. Just the way that they're so very well coached up. And you talk about those girthy guys that they have up front. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. They got a lot of them, and we've been worried about that, especially with our weaknesses or perceived weaknesses in the middle. But look, man, these guys are not the wife taker Fletcher Cox. It's not. These guys are not Hargrave. We're not going to. They've seen this before, and then you talk about their secondary and their back end. They have some really good guys back there on the back end, but none of those guys are like the free safety we went against from L.A. Chargers. They're not like that.
Yeah, they don't have individuals that can take you out like that.
No, but here's the thing, though. They have some guys out there that are funky.
Yep. And,
I mean, when you get to Gillette Stadium, you smell something, it's going to be Matthew Judon.
Yep.
He is the real deal. 6'3", 275 pounds. They move him all around the place.
He played everywhere at Baltimore. He played all over their formation, all over their line, their front.
If he has any perceived weakness that I can see in his game, is stopping the run. It's stopping the run for me. I see we can run at him. He's a pass rusher. I mean, he's a high energy guy. They have a bunch of those high energy guys. You might have forgotten about a guy by the name of Kyle Van Noy, linebacker. He's another guy that's going to be all over the place. But watch for Winovich, number 50. He is, man. He's just one. I don't know how Bill does this by finding a guy that he is like, the guy's like the Energizer Bunny, and he just does not stop. And those are the kind of players that I think that we've had problems with in the past. But when I look at our offense versus their defense, we have one thing to do, and that is control the line of scrimmage. This is going to be a fat man's game from the tackle to tackle. We have got to dominate these guys up front, and we got to do it for 4 quarters, and we got to run at them.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy wasn't interested in giving away the game plan yesterday, but he did say, look, they play matchups, and they're probably looking at Tyler Biotish, and they're looking at the interior and saying we're going to Terrence Steele, at right tackle, and saying that they're probably going to try to go at our young guys. So we'll see how it works out. We haven't even mentioned Dante Hightower, who's back for them, who's been the heartbeat of their defense for years, and was a COVID opt out last year. To me, this is just. What a test for Kellen Moore. I mean, we're going to talk about Kellen Moore later in the show, and he's been in his bag. He's the darling of the NFL right now, and he's going up against Bill Belichick, and there's no greater test. Whether you say what you want about their personnel, if you don't think it's as great as in the past, they can scheme things up. I mean, they held Tampa Bay to 19 points a few weeks ago, and that's the game to me you need to watch to see kind of what they did, because in terms of personnel, that's as good a receiving core as there is in the league, maybe right behind the Cowboys or right there with the Cowboys. They played a lot of man coverage.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, they just basically – and actually, I didn't realize when I was watching the game, but they shadowed – they had 3 guys picking a receiver and basically shadowing for most of the game. Just say it's like basketball. You take this guy for the entire game. And so you just never know what he's going to do. Mm-hmm. You watch that the Rams Super Bowl against the Pats, and they come out and they play zone like the whole game when they were a man defense.
The greatest show on turf.
Yeah, and just totally flustered Sean McVay. So I know the Cowboys are rolling, and I'm not trying to gas anybody up.
Not that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
Way back. Going way back.
Yeah, I'm going way years. I'm going to Marshall Falk back. It's all good.
They just have ways to scheme it up and make it hard for you. It's just fascinating to me, though, because the Cowboys don't seem to really have any weaknesses right now.
Yeah,
you can take something away, but they're all. Oh, by the way, they're averaging 170 yards on the ground right
Yeah,
now.
the psychology of Coach Belichick, I have such a high regard for him, and obviously most people do because of his success. But being in the building with him, his office is, as soon as you walk in the building, his office is right there on the left-hand side. So as a player, you come in, they have things all over. His office is literally right there, and he has a cot in his office. He sleeps there. There's days where he just sleeps at the office because he watches so much film. If there is a weakness, right, to your point in terms of if he has any kind of success against the Cowboys, this would be the game plan going forward for every other team. That is true because if there is anybody in this league that can find a weakness in our offense, it's him. And he will watch enough film to find that one little thing. So Kellen Moore button up every little package, every formation, every protection, because he will try to find that hole. He's like water. You give him a crack, he'll freaking seep through that thing.
That's a great analogy. Yes.
I like that a lot. What is the blueprint? That's what we're going to answer when we come back on the other side of the break, because I want to know, is it the second level stopping the run? Is it the front four getting pressure on Dak Prescott? What are they going to take away from the Cowboys or attempt to take away when we return here on Talkin' Cowboys?
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar. And a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talkin' Cowboys, where it's a great people, great pay replay. Again, here from the SWBC studios, Jason Witten has joined the Caliber Collision team. If you want to join him and do great work with great people for great pay, you can apply now at jobs@caliber.com. That's jobs@caliber.com. Second segment here where we attempt to guess the blueprint. And so I guess our game this week.
Are we playing Bill Belichick? Is that what we're doing?
What was that?
Are we playing Bill Belichick?
Yeah, you're about to put on your Bill Belichick hoodie. You
got some music
cut off
CD?
sleeves and everything. Is that the Bill Belichick intro?
Bill Belichick doesn't have music, and you should already know that.
He's actually a funny guy.
That doesn't surprise me.
We'll find out tomorrow.
What's tomorrow?
Ooh, Chris is teasing. We have an idea for a game tomorrow.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah,
sweet.
It's gonna be fun.
I got some pictures that I can never show.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Coach Belichick in terms of some of our Halloween party we had some years back.
Pictures that you can't
those kind
show.
of pictures. Not those kind of pictures. I don't need him tracking me down, Isaiah.
He's already gonna.
What the heck?
He's gonna get you. Oh, you know he listens. He listens. He watches the film. That's what he stays up at night doing. Is he's listening to Talkin' Cowboys.
Probably.
All right. So he usually takes one thing away. One thing that the team on the other side of the line of scrimmage does best. So, like Rob said in the last segment, Kellen Moore is in his bag right now, and literally everything is working. The offensive line's playing well. The receivers are playing well. Your run game is stout, one of the top in the league. And guess what? Your quarterback is playing some of the best, most efficient football of his 6-year career. So, what does Bill Belichick try and take away, Heckma Harrison? Do you believe that there is one thing specifically that is better above the rest that he's going to attempt to try and evaporate?
Man, this is like hitting a grapefruit, man. The easy thing is going to be taking away the run. And he's going to crowd the line of scrimmage and take that away and force a situation for Dak Prescott to try and, throw the ball all over the park. He understands that this offense, the way that it's been moving since week 2 until now, has been predicated on the success that we have with play action. When teams have to honor us in the play action, it just opens up everything that Kellen Moore does. And I think that's the bag that we're talking about. So, I think him being tough at the line of scrimmage and also, like I said, taking away the run. I don't want to take too much meat off this bone, guys.
If I'm Bill Belichick, I am going to consume the gaps. Right, to your point of taking away the run, I'm gonna take away the interior run. I'm gonna force you to run outside, right? Because I know that you want to keep Zeke in the game. I know that's what you want to do, right? So I'm gonna try to make Zeke go back to Zeke last year, where he was trying to force plays, and when he tried to force plays, what happened? He fell with the rock. What have we done in these first couple of games? We put the rock on the ground, not necessarily from Zeke, right, but just as a team.
Yeah, last 2 games.
All right, so I would crowd the gaps, right? Not necessarily crowd the line of scrimmage, but cover the gaps with the size that I have, right? Use my stand-up ends, right, to have some contain. And then on the secondary side of things, I'm going to play 2-man, which means I'm going to take my cornerbacks, put them on the inside leverage of your receivers, and I'm going to be physical with you at the line of scrimmage with help over the top. And I'm going to have somebody right over the top of your tight end saying, try to beat me.
That's what happened on CD's touchdown, actually, where they were supposed to have help over the top, and CD was too fast for it. Nice. That sounds good to me, because I honestly, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what he's going to do, but the one game the Cowboys lost, and part of it is Tampa Bay's personnel, but they crowded the line of scrimmage and said, we're not going to run, and we're not going to run inside. And Kellen did some things where it wasn't necessarily even tosses outside. It was little flare. It count as passes, But maybe that's the way to do it. I know it seemed like more so when they played Tampa Bay. Again, they kind of singled up man coverage, and maybe there were more favorable run boxes there. And Tampa Bay had about 120 yards, but they flooded the passing lanes for Tom Brady. So I don't know. Maybe we see a little bit of both, because I don't know if you can play just one way the whole game and beat this team, this Cowboys offense.
And their defense is only giving up one rushing touchdown to a running back. So the other ones have been to quarterbacks. And so that obviously, this is going to be a game where Zeke may not have, but like last time he was at Gillette Stadium, 89 yards. It may not be 100 yards. It may be by committee situation. That's why Tony Pollard is going to be so important in this game as well, especially doing exactly what Isaiah is saying. If they're crowding the middle and they force us to go outside, we have a guy that is the switchblade to our running backs scheme. But I talked about Matthew Judon and just what he does from a defensive standpoint, and I look at us offensively, and I pray that Belichick stays in a man versus us. Because if he does, Gillette Stadium is going to smell like biscuits. We're going to burn them down. We're going to burn them down. It's just
mama's biscuits.
Yeah, my mama's biscuits. I'm talking about the biscuits that wake you up in the morning. We're going to burn them down. And they'll have a hard time with our talent and the weapons that we have internally. If they allow, like you're talking about, a guy coming over the top of Schultz to bump Schultz, because they don't allow free releases in New England. They're going to put their hands on you. But still, if you have a linebacker man-to-man with Schultz, I like that matchup.
Yeah, he will be tested in that regard. Coach Belichick teaches, very intentfully. He teaches get hands on everybody. Nobody gets free releases. He wants to bang you at the line of scrimmage. If you're a tight end, you better be watching film and working on your releases off the ball, especially if you're coming out of a 3-point, because you're going to have a 270-pound dude putting his hands on you. Right, and he's going to ride it. He might not ride you all the way to the second level, but you're going to have.
But what does that do though, so the people understand what that does?
Yeah, it throws off your timing. So if I'm Dak Prescott and I have 2.3 seconds to get the ball off, and all of a sudden Schultz is taking half a second, 0.6 seconds to get off the ball, I'm off of him. I don't have time to sit back on him. Right, because Schultz now we're 1 second into the play, 1.5 seconds into the play, and Schultz is only 3 or 4 yards down the field. He can't get into his route, so it disrupts what you want to do on that level. And then in terms of crossers, they know that the second level, right, in the middle of their field, the second level is their weak spot. So anybody who tries to cross over there, guess what? They're going to do just like Harrison used to do cats, and they're going to try to take your head off as long as you're within 5 yards. You are going to feel them. If nothing else, New England wants to make sure that you feel them when you walk off this field.
You want to mention that, go back to that, and we're going back 20 years and it was a different game, but the Greatest Show on Turf game, they just beat the hell out of the Rams receivers and said, hey, throw a flag every play, refs. Throw a flag. Different game back.
Different NFL.
Different NFL.
But now you can't sneeze on nobody.
But yeah, to this day, they're very physical defensively.
Well, and that's what the second level of their defense does so exceptionally well. That's why Judon is feared. That's why Dante Hightower is feared. That's why Kyle Van Noy has a career in the NFL, because they're heavy hitters and because they're good and they're quick in coverage and they can do a lot of different things. I think that's the strength of their defense, is the second level heading into the third with J.C. Jackson, who, by the way, was one of 2 players last year that had more picks than Trayvon Diggs has right now in the entire 2020 season, because there were 2 guys. It was Howard from Miami and J.C. Jackson, who had 9 picks last year as well. He's got 2 this year. So you've got some solid guys in the secondary as well. Kyle Duggar, D3 talent out of the draft last year, who we really liked.
One of the
He's
McCourty
been playing
twins.
really well. McCourty's back there as well. I mean, second level into the secondary, I think this team's as good as what the Cowboys have seen so far.
I like that. I mean, and one of the things that Belichick does is he brings in smart players. He brings, like you see Jalen Mills from the Green Goblin from the Eagles. I'm so happy he doesn't play for the Eagles anymore. But he's nursing a hamstring injury as well. So, J.C. Jackson man-to-man on Amari Cooper, I'll take that every day and twice on Sunday. That's a matchup I will get.
Do you think he will be on that matchup, or do you think he'll go with maybe a CeeDee Lamb on the other side?
Oh, they better put somebody on Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
If they don't, that's where the problem will start, is with Amari. But again, you still in a situation where you have CeeDee Lamb, and we saw it last week with him being able to take the top off of a defense. All of that is still going to be there for us. And Cedric Wilson has an opportunity right now at being matched up maybe with their third, or Andre Phillips, that guy that comes in at nickel. I think he had to play a lot of extended snaps last week versus Houston, but you see the vulnerability there. As much as we're talking up Belichick, if you go back and look at that defense, they are playing a whole lot of snaps. These guys have to stay on alert because their offense is inept. So, we can do this. If we can get them the first quarter, jump out on them, score some points, and keep that pressure on their head for 4 quarters, I think this is a team that's going to be ready to lay down. They'll be like the roly-polies.
Do you think that we will? Do you think that we will be the offense that puts up the most amount of yardage against them
today? Today,
because to date it's the Tampa Bay game with 381.
Oh, well, they're certainly capable of doing that. Can they cash in, though, is the question.
In that Tampa Bay game, without the weather and everything, I think that had a factor to play in it, especially as how explosive Tampa's offense has been. But I don't see them stopping us from getting more than 400 yards. I don't see them stopping it.
The weather is not supposed to be bad. I just looked it up. It's like sunny and 64. Nice. So it's not going to be – it's not supposed to be this slog of a game that we saw 2 years ago.
And they haven't faced – they faced the Dolphins. No offense. The Jets, no offense. The Saints, trying to figure out their quarterback, right? They had 252 yards total against New England. And then they faced Tampa, 381. Houston had some success, and that was where we at? 360 yards total. So I'm interested to see. I think we put up some good yardage against them for sure, but I think it's going to have to come in the middle of the field. Middle of the field passing game, outside running game.
So what you're saying to me is Dak Prescott's probably going to throw the ball quite a bit.
Yes.
Tony Pollard's going to have some pretty solid runs to the outside for the most part, if they're able to shut down Zeke. They'll try Zeke early, but then it's going to be a Pollard game late, right? Is what we're at least thinking. And then Dalton Schultz is probably going to have a pretty good impact in this football game underneath, right in the middle of that second level.
Yes. Yeah. He's not going to let Cooper, to your point, he's going to take Cooper out. He's going to try. Let me say that for people try to come after me and crucify me. He will make sure that Cooper is not the guy who beats them.
Biscuits.
I'm with you, buttermilk.
Yeah, and the thing is that the pressure that they get up front. Now we talked about Judon, but we still haven't talked about Bentley, number 8. They have a linebacker.
I like him.
I'm telling you, the guy. They're going to bring pressure from a lot of different angles. They do it with their strong safeties. They do it with their middle linebacker. I just believe that right now you can do that versus a quarterback that's not experienced. I think Dak right now, the game is like the athletes say, the game is slowed down. So if the game is slowed down for Dak, I think that gives him an opportunity to take full advantage of what they do.
Agreed.
They just got to be ready to adjust. Kellen Moore was asked about what are they, they're known for taking away strengths, and he said, we're going to come in with a game plan we feel confident about, but guys have to be ready midstream to say, hey, we got to change it up, because it's Belichick. You just never
going to change it up, going to bring the heat from that defense. And when we come back, what is Kellen Moore going to do to try and combat that a little bit more? And also, what did Troy Aikman have to say about Mr. Moore and how he's been playing, or calling plays, I should say, over the last couple of weeks when we return with more Talkin' Cowboys?
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay, no surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Whether you're watching from home or you're cheering in the stands with Essilor lenses, you can see every exciting play. Book an appointment at your local Essilor experts and see what Essilor can do for you. See more, do more, Essilor on Talkin' Cowboys. That's one that if you're listening to the show, if you're a listener of the show, which
you gotta see it,
you gotta go on YouTube, you gotta go on DallasCowboys.com, go on the Periscope. I guess it's not Periscope, it's just Twitter now. Go on Twitter, look at Isaiah during the reads because I
love Essilor.
Awesome. We do. We love our Essilor.
Gotten us lenses.
Caliber Collision, Tostitos. We love all of our partners here.
Oh, yeah.
SWBC, all friends.
Awesome.
Guys, how did we get through all of yesterday's preview of the Patriots offense without knowing that they have an inside man? Bum, bum, bum. Garrett Gilbert's on the practice squad.
Double G-Wagon.
That's how you feel about Garrett Gilbert?
That's the drop. Right there. They do have an inside man, though.
Yeah.
They got an inside man.
They do got an inside man.
All right.
You think he's over there telling Kellen Moore secrets?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
You think I didn't tell
you ever do
secrets?
that?
Heck yeah, I told you secrets. When I was playing with the Giants and we went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots, you think I wasn't giving all the information?
Does it help? Does it help?
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah.
Because I've never known a fan worry about that stuff too much.
Give me an example. I want to know what information you were able to share while you were on the sideline during a Super Bowl.
Concepts, signals, all that.
So you knew what they were running before they ran it.
There's some things they changed up, some things they didn't change. I'm not going to say what percentage of the plays of that was, but
I want to know what the percentage was.
There was definitely concepts that they were running and signals that were not changed up that we were privy to.
The inside man.
Mm-hmm. When you happen to be
a
quarterback in the room with the New England Patriots, you remember some things.
Wow. Now,
one ring later.
Oh, that's true. It worked out for you.
Let's go.
We brought him in the snitch, ladies and gentlemen.
Dr. Evil.
I don't know if Garrett Gilbert's going to have that same kind of impact on the Cowboys and what Kellen Moore is trying to do.
I don't think Kellen Moore gave him access to the bag that he's actually digging in right now. Kellen Moore's like, being that we're talking about, Halloween and trick-or-treating. See, back where I grew up, trick-or-treating, you had a little bag, right? You would walk house to house, but I grew up in the hood, so there was always a bag snatcher. There was always somebody who would ride by on a bike and snatch your bag from you and would end up at the house with a bunch of people's bags. They were thieves, okay? But you just chop that up as an L. Kellen Moore is a bag snatcher right now. He is going against all these defensive coordinators. Yes, he is taking the souls. He's taking the souls of defensive coordinators as we continue to go through our season.
That is talent. You just related a hood story about getting robbed for your
Kellen Moore.
To Kellen Moore.
Yeah, all right.
I'm done. Let me just go.
Yeah, that's how do you top that?
Kellen Moore is a bag snatcher, a.k.a. the taker of souls.
He Debo.
Shang Su, whatever his name is from Mortal Kombat. He is taking souls from people right now.
And it's 2 weeks till Halloween, so it all just ties in. And this is just off the cuff. You didn't come in thinking of that.
Yeah, you guys never got your bag snatched before?
Nah.
No.
You guys grew up in a good neighborhood.
No, I didn't, but when nobody taking nothing.
You've never seen a kid's soul just leave his body until
I done seen a lot.
His whole night's work
yeah.
just got taken from him.
Oh, yeah.
Just watches him ride off on a bicycle.
You just chalk it up to an L.
It's the L, man.
Crap.
Give me that.
Just give me that.
Yo,
Kellen Moore, the bag snatcher.
Taking people's candies. Taking people's candy all the way home.
The image that I'm getting is really what's messing me up. It's
the theater of the mind. Thank you, Isaiah.
Kellen on the beach cruiser like Debo.
He's on a jib jab on Debo.
Oh my gosh!
Somebody please do a jib jab with Kellen Moore's face on Debo.
That's what it is.
Oh my god!
Wow. Now I don't even want to talk about anything the rest of the show. I feel like that's about as good as it's going to get. Let's keep talking about Kellen Moore, though. Did you guys hear what Troy Aikman had to say about Mr. Moore and what he's been doing?
Yes.
Pretty high praise from one Troy Aikman. Rob, did you get a chance to look at it?
Yeah, I did. My first thought was, well, thanks, Troy. Kellen's gone. He's gone next year.
What did he say?
Well, you sent it to me. I didn't see it. But he basically just compared it to his time with Norv Turner, where they're on a wavelength, and the communication is so good. And just on top of, he's a bag snatcher. That's what Troy basically said. Like, they use so many different looks and so many different formations, and they run a lot of great stuff. Basically just gave him as high a praise as I've heard anybody give him so far this season. There's been a lot of high praise. So when a Hall of Famer says that, people take notice of stuff like that. Yeah. He's going to get some attention when the season's over. There's no doubt about that.
I already saw a graphic where he was like the number 2 candidate for the Raiders job already. He was already on a list for that. Now that would be at the end of the year. That wouldn't be anytime soon. But basically the best thing that Troy Aikman ultimately said was talking about Dak Prescott and the relationship that those two guys have and how they're in lockstep. That was the way that he put it. Those guys are in lockstep together. And he also related it back to them being teammates and having that camaraderie as a quarterback room. And, of course, Kellen was there when Dak was drafted, and then they had kind of the quarterback battle together, and Dak ultimately ended up as the starter. But Troy says that works in Kellen Moore's favor. So I ask you as a former quarterback, Isaiah, does that play a bigger role than I think people give credit for?
That's very interesting. I'm not sure. I've never really had that dynamic.
Just that relationship going from player to coach and knowing.
There's a level of respect that comes from competing with somebody. When you're in the same room with somebody competing, there's a respect and a regard for the individual that you just can't walk off the street and get hired and come just attain from Dak Prescott. So Dak looks at him, I would assume, differently than he looks at any other coach, simply because they have that understanding of what they both put in during their time as players. And now, retrospect, he's now looking back at him as a coach now, and I would imagine they just have that understanding. And like I said, that's just a regard and respect. I think that's different. I've never had that. That's pretty cool.
They became close when Dak was, Kellen. That was Kellen's opportunity, and he got hurt in training camp, and they became close that year, and he became a real sounding board for Dak. I'd say Mark Sanchez did as well. But yeah, that bond formed early on, and before he was ever a coach.
No, you know what? One of the things that I have, and going back to Troy Aikman and the compliment that he gave him, one of the things that I've always been envious of is the fraternity of football players. I don't care if you are played in the league back in the 50s or playing right now. There's a common respect amongst guys that played the game. Mm-hmm. And so when a guy makes, especially obviously Hall of Famer, gives you a compliment like that, obviously that's got to resonate with you, especially when he's talking about North Turners and Zampesis. Like, these are one of the greats of the game. And I just feel as though, and I thought also, just to make sure I don't forget this, is when he was talking about Jason Garrett playing with Garrett and the rumors that Garrett would maybe someday be an offensive coordinator. He's like, well, I didn't want to sacrifice my good years for that. It just talked about the competitive nature of guys back then and the way that they looked at the game and how they respected the guys that coached them, and how that's changed now, where guys are much younger. They're coming straight from off of the practice field going into coaching. And that's just a great dynamic to see that Dak has received that, and they have the bond that they do. I just hope that no matter what Kellen Moore does with the success that he has, that he continues on that trajectory. And if he does leave here, I hope that everybody's taking every note digitally that he's going to leave, so that his bag doesn't leave with him. We can keep the bag here. Keep the bag at home.
That's such a sad way to think of it, though. It's like every time something goes well for either one of these coordinators, for Kellen Moore, Dan Quinn, it's like, man, but I don't want him to leave. I don't want him to go anywhere. That's just the way it is. But it is. That's the business of the NFL. That's how it happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with players. We're not going to be able to keep everybody. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we're waiting on Michael Gallup to come back, and I wish this was a game that Michael Gallup was back for.
Oh, I agree.
I wish this because this would be the Michael Gallup game.
This would be the game.
But obviously, with his value and the way that I love Mike G, we may not be able to keep him. We may not be able to keep Wilson. We may not be able to keep Randy Gregory. I mean, obviously guys leave. And so, look, if that happens to us at the end of the year with Kellen Moore, it's going to be huge.
But they're still chasing the ultimate prize right now, and that's all you can ask for at the moment. Got to try and get up there and get it done, and then, hey, wherever you guys go, you did the job right.
Let's get that ring.
Long way to go until we get there, but they're on the way at the moment, and they've got a fun one.
What's tomorrow, Con?
On Sunday.
What's tomorrow? What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Say It With Your Chest Friday, sir. We've got a fun game.
I've been doing push-ups.
Coming up tomorrow. We've also got a DraftKings Insider segment that we've got to put together tomorrow. And we've got our guest pickers tomorrow. So be sure to get ready right in the middle of the second segment.
I told Heckman I've been doing push-ups. I wanted some more bass when I said it with my chest, so I've been doing push-ups.
Oh, well, good.
Get that core.
Yeah.
That core. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. We've got our best. Our fan tomorrow picking 888-855-2297. Go ahead and write that down, 888-855-2297. Before we get any more off the rails, that's it for us here on Talkin Cowboys. For Chris Beam in the back, Heckma Harrison, Isaiah Stanback, Rob Phillips, I'm Kyle Yeoman. See you tomorrow on Talkin Cowboys, presented by Tostitos.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, guys?